With the right of Americans to receive an abortion now at risk, we take a closer look at who is actually getting abortions in this country, and the stats may surprise you. According to the most recent data collected, one number the CDC reports is that more than half of abortions here in the United States, more than half, are women in their 20s. ABC News senior national policy reporter Ann Flaherty joins me now. She has been tracking the data, pulling some of the more interesting stats and numbers, and help us understand these numbers and also the demographic of people seeking abortion. What stands out to you?
Well, as you said, Kira, it might be a little bit surprising. I know that people have in their head who they envision would be getting an abortion, but, you know, the CDC tracks this data. It's not as up to date as we would like. It's back from 2019, but this is the best national snapshot that we have at this point. So they found that the majority of women are in their 20s, as you mentioned. 85% of them are unmarried. As a population, Black women are more likely to have abortions at a rate of 1,000. So that rate would be 24 abortions per 1,000 women. Compared to white women, it's about 7 abortions per 1,000 women. And, you know, of course, the CDC doesn't make any statements about why that might be. We do have other research that suggests that the majority of women getting abortions are below the poverty level, extremely below the poverty level. And the CDC guesses that that could be one of the reasons you have unequal access to family planning services. So that could be one reason as well. But as you said, women in their 20s, and many of them are mothers.
Interesting. The data also saying that the number of total abortions has actually declined, right, by about 18%. So which group of Americans are actually seeing the biggest decline? And I wonder why that is.
So this might surprise you as well, but it's adolescents, it's teens. You know, when you get into these numbers, it does get very complex. And when you talk to the advocates involved in this, they have, of course, their own theories as to why that is. You know, the people who oppose abortion rights will say that it's the expansion of abstinence training and education in high schools. People that support abortion rights will tell you that it's the expansion of birth control and that availability in America. But overall, yep, there were about 625,000 abortions reported to the CDC in 2019, and that is down, as you said, 18% in about a decade.
Wow, just as a parent, I'm just thinking how advanced kids are nowadays, right? And everything out there on social media. And it seems that sex ed, they are getting younger and younger when they're learning things and they're talking about things. So that's interesting, just that combination of what could be leading to a smaller number of kids, of teenagers getting abortions. There's also this new ABC News Washington Post poll, right, that shows that since 2020, 22 states have actually passed abortion restrictions, but only 30% of residents are even aware of that. So how do you think that could change these numbers, Ann?
Well, I think certainly voters don't tend to pay attention to things that don't impact them yet. And one of the things that we see with the state laws is that they're trigger laws. They're waiting on the Supreme Court to act on this, and they will go into effect when the Supreme Court rules, if the Supreme Court rules in their favor. So I don't think there's been quite the uproar in those states. I think a lot of those states, those voters have demanded it and wanted it. So when we hear these polls talking about, you know, the majority of Americans support upholding Roe v. Wade, you know, I think you almost have to drill down into those numbers and just ask more questions. Where do those voters live? How do they vote? Who are their politicians? Because that can get very complex as well. So, you know, certainly that 30% number of voters who are unaware of those state laws, I think that number is going to grow as people like you and I continue to talk about this and we continue to ask questions.
Well, I'll tell you what, in a day like this, with that breaking news overnight and this type of information, these numbers, these details, really helps put everything in perspective. Appreciate you, Ann, very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Kara.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.